Hillbilly Tucker accidentally poked a hornet's nest. He came running out, waving a chainsaw like crazy. Mitch, a college student visiting the area, thought Tucker was a chainsaw killer. Terrified, he turned and ran. One was dodging hornets, the other imagining murder. Soon, they were running side by side. Tucker eventually overtook Mitch, but Mitch kept fleeing in panic. Suddenly, Mitch tripped and fell, impaling himself on a sharp tree branch. Tucker decided to prevent further accidents by tossing all the dangerous branches into the wood chipper. But another student, Mike, saw this and thought Tucker was destroying evidence. Mike charged at Tucker but ended up diving headfirst into the wood chipper. Tucker used all his strength, desperately trying to pull Mike out. However, two girls watching thought he was pushing Mike in deeper. Meanwhile, their friend Allison was helping Tucker's buddy Dale dig holes to plant trees. But from afar, it looked exactly like she was being forced to dig her own grave. Todd saw this and charged forward, holding a spear. Dale thought they were just waving hello. But when Dale turned around, he accidentally knocked Allison unconscious. Shocked, Dale fell into the hole himself, and Todd's spear got stuck in the ground. Unfortunately, Todd fell onto it and accidentally stabbed himself. Later, Tucker and Dale regrouped at the cabin. Tucker was still shaken, explaining that some idiot had jumped right into the wood chipper. Dale replied with an even crazier story. He saw a student skewered on a spear. Dale suggested they call the police immediately, but Tucker had a different idea.
It's a good idea, Dale. Oh, howdy ho, officer. Just doing some chores around the house when kids started killing themselves all over my property.
Well, that's what happened, Tucker.
He would have to be a moron to believe that.
In the end, they decided to drag the body out of the woods, but after just a few steps, they ran straight into a police car. Tucker gave the officer a friendly smile, but with blood all over them, they looked like total psychopaths. Facing the sheriff, Tucker quickly tried to explain everything. He said that yesterday, they were just fishing by the river. They had even brought a cooler full of beer, but when they opened it, there was only one can left. While talking about where to buy more, they saw a group of college kids coming over to swim. One girl, Allison, was standing on a high rock, taking off her clothes. Tucker and Dale felt awkward, so they decided to leave quietly. But Allison heard them and got startled. She slipped and fell right into the water. They quickly rowed over and pulled her onto their boat. However, her friends saw this and thought the two hillbillies were kidnapping her. The students panicked and ran off, leaving Tucker and Dale completely confused. Later, when the other college kids heard that Allison had been taken by hillbillies, one of them, Chad, grabbed an axe and wanted to go save her. But the boat had already drifted too far from shore, so they had to come up with a plan. When Allison woke up, she found herself in a bed. Dale stepped out from the shadows, and she screamed in fear, begging for mercy. Dale thought she just didn't like the food he made, so he kindly offered to go prepare her something else for breakfast. The college students were still discussing their rescue plan. Someone suggested calling the police, but Chad wanted to play the hero. They located the cabin and planned to storm in when the time was right. By this point, Allison had already realized that Dale and Tucker weren't bad guys, but the rescue was already in motion. And so, all because of one hornet's nest, a wild chain of events began. Someone got impaled by a tree branch. Someone jumped into a wood chipper. So when the sheriff finally arrived, Tucker and Dale were still completely confused. When he learned that Allison was inside their cabin, the sheriff demanded to go in and check. But Allison had just been accidentally knocked unconscious and wasn't waking up yet. That made the sheriff even more convinced that Tucker and Dale were the villains. He announced he was placing them under arrest, then leaned against a wooden beam. The beam was loose and collapsed, crushing him. The sheriff stumbled back to his car, grabbed the radio, and tried to call for backup. But before he could say a single word, he collapsed and died. This made the rest of the college students certain that the two hillbillies had killed the sheriff. Chuck spotted the sheriff's handgun and quickly picked it up, aiming it at Tucker and Dale, but the gun didn't fire. Naive Dale told him, "Oh, you gotta take the safety off on the side there." As Chuck leaned in to check the safety, he accidentally pulled the trigger and shot himself. Chad, hiding nearby, saw everything. He grabbed the gun and started shooting wildly. Tucker and Dale ran inside the cabin to hide, but quickly noticed that their beloved dog Jangers was missing. Looking out the window, they discovered that Jangers had been kidnapped by Chad. To save Jangers, they grabbed the nail gun they used for work. Dale was in charge of covering fire, while Tucker went around to rescue the dog. The college kids were hiding behind the police car, so Tucker quietly snuck over. He did a somersault. Just as Jangers was being freed, the students spotted Tucker. He gave them an awkward smile, but Chad had already picked up an axe. They chased Tucker through the woods. Tucker tried to hide behind a tree, but Chad caught him anyway. He punched Tucker unconscious and tied him up, hanging him from a tree. When Allison woke up, Dale was worried about Tucker. He said he didn't understand how things got so out of control, so he tried to piece it all together from the beginning.
Yeah, at first I thought they were trying to kill you, and then they started killing themselves. They tried to kill us, and now they're going after my dog. I guess they just like killing.
Just then, the college kids started pounding on the door. Terrified, Dale hid quickly. Allison wanted to explain everything to her friends, but when she stepped outside, she saw her friends' bodies lying everywhere. She picked up a package and brought it inside. To her shock, it contained 2 of Tucker's fingers. There was also a note attached with a warning. "Now we got your friend, try and get him." Dale immediately grabbed a machete and ran into the woods to save him. After searching for a while, he finally found Tucker hanging upside down. As he rushed in to cut him down, Tucker warned him not to. It was a trap.
Oh no! Oh no, Tucker!
And one wrong move could end badly. Dale let out a big sigh of relief, pulled out the branch, and with one clean swing, rescued Tucker. But while the two were away, Chad snuck into the cabin with Naomi.